Hello, everybody. Hi, this is Todd, the teacher and creator of ELLLO, and today we are going to do a listening activity with Bella from Australia, and she's going to talk about her dad and her dad's special relationship with some birds. Now, these birds are called magpies, and we don't have them in America, so I've never seen them. I've only seen videos of them, but it's an interesting story. It's very short, it's less than a minute, and we want to listen 3 times. Now, the first 2 times you can listen on this video. The first listening, just listen cold, which means don't read, don't look at any questions, just listen and try to catch what you can. And try to maybe get 5 words. If you can get 5 words, 5 details, that's great. Then in the second listening, we'll preview the quiz. There are 3 questions, and then we'll listen and see if we can answer those questions. And then for self-study, I recommend for the third listening, you use the link in the description box and you go to the website and you can listen and read the text or do the interactive gap fill. So let's go ahead and begin. Let's go ahead and start this lesson. First listening, just relax. Just relax. Let's see if you can hear the main details as she talks about her dad and these birds.
Every single day for as long as I can remember, my pop has fed magpies at his front doorstep each morning. They would fly down from their nest nearby in a tree and come to his grass in the backyard and squawk until he would come out and give them their food. And sometimes when he would not be able to hear them, they would come right up to his front doorstep, stand at the door and squawk until he would come feed them. He usually gives them mincemeat or biscuits, but they keep getting fed every single morning because of them coming up to the door and squawking. They're like his pets, and they're just wild birds.
All right, that's the first listening. How did you do? What key words could you hear? I heard, for example, her dad pops. She says her pop. The birds fly down to the doorstep or in front of the door, and her father feeds them, and they make a sound. But I'm not going to tell you the word I heard because it's in the quiz. So maybe you heard the word, but I'm not going to say it yet. So now let's go ahead and go to the quiz. So we have 3 questions. And question number 1 is, when does he feed the birds? 2, what does he feed them? And 3, what do the birds do to get his attention? So here we go, second listening. Let's try to listen and hear the answers to these questions.
Every single day for as long as I can remember, my pop has fed magpies at his front doorstep each morning. They would fly down from their nest nearby in a tree and come to his grass in the backyard and squawk until he would come out and give them their food. And sometimes when he would not be able to hear them, they would come right up to his front doorstep, stand at the door and squawk until he would come feed them. He usually gives them mincemeat or biscuits, but they keep getting fed every single morning because of them coming up to the door and squawking. They're like his pets, and they're just wild birds.
All right, so are you ready? Did you hear the answers? So number 1, when does he feed the birds? What do you think? What's the answer? I heard every day. Did you hear that? And then what does he feed them? What did you hear? I heard mincemeat and biscuits. And then the last one, what do the birds do to get his attention? And she said the birds squawk and squawk. Squawk is like wah, wah. It's like the sound that a bird makes, and we call it a squawk. So let's go ahead and check our answers. And voila, bing, bing, bing. We got them all correct. Now, a couple things about the language or the words. This is mincemeat. So mincemeat could have meat, or it could also just be like, I think, fruits and grains. I'm not really sure exactly what's in it, but this could be what she was referring to because she's talking about food in Australia, and I'm American, so we have different words. Also, she said biscuits. I think she means like crackers. We would call them crackers. In American English, a biscuit is a piece of bread. It's a very hard piece of bread, like a muffin. But I think in British English and Australian English, biscuit is like a cracker. Maybe I'm wrong, so if you know the right answer, if you're British or Australian, you can go ahead and correct me if I got that wrong. Now, for the third listening, what I recommend is that the students go to the page and they can get the audio if they want. You can download it. It's very easy to download. You need a Chrome browser or a Brave browser. And then you can read the text, and there's some interesting things that are said in there. For one, she says, "For as long as I can remember." This is a very common phrase we say in English. When we talk about something that's been part of our life for a long time, we'll say, "For as long as I can remember." Also, she says squawk and squawk and squawk. So that is a way to show emphasis, show that something was done again and again and again. And also, I think she says pops. She says my pops. Yeah, my pop. So pop can be like a nice word for your father or your dad. So you can read the script. Also, you can do the gap fill, which is a great way to practice your listening. So you can play the audio, listen, and then type in the missing word, and then you get 3 chances to get it correct. So if you can get the right word in there, you can test your listening. Really good practice to work on those listening skills. And you can access this video by just going to the link in the description box. And also, this lesson has 4 more listenings from Bella. They're all quite interesting. There's Kangaroo Road. I made another video about that on YouTube. Crazy Lady, and then both School Threat and Alarm Bell are a little bit related, actually, but different times in her life, and those are quite interesting. And all of these are in the new section that we have called Talks, and we have short talks that are 1 minute or less from people around the world. And if you want to find them, you can just go to ELLLO, and then it's the first activity at the top. It's a new activity that we have on the website. And that's it. Thanks a lot for listening. And as always, remember, the more you listen, the faster you learn.